Somké.
Yeah. Somké, we back, we live, and we are here. It's MMA Underground. It's another Wednesday, and we got two fighters, two amazing fighters in the building. I got a special guest co-host today in the building. You know him,
What up?
the OG himself, Darkness.
What up, guys? Thank you for having me on the show. How's it going? It's good to be here.
Glad to have you, brother. Glad to have you. And our guest tonight that we'll be interviewing is a newcomer to the yard, heavyweight fighter by the name of Bam Bam.
Let's go. Let's go. You see it, champion loading. Champion loading.
Let's go. Let's go. How y'all doing, fellas?
Doing really good. How are you guys doing today?
Good, brother. Good.
We in there.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And I want to start real quick, man, with Bam Bam. I mean, we just saw you last month at the Smoke Ranch for the first time, making your debut. Dirty boxing, new style to the West Coast, and also the Big Dog Tournament has just started. So before we get to the actual fight, man, I want to kind of get an idea of your background and as well as how you found Street Beef. So where are you from, as well as did you grow up fighting wherever you were from?
Yeah, so big time. First of all, I'm from North Carolina. I'm a country boy. I be trying to hide my accent sometimes, but I'm a country dude. And growing up, my dad was real big into martial arts. He was a Taekwondo brown belt. And so I've always had like a fight influence around me. I didn't get into it myself heavy until about 13. But from 13 to, I want to say, probably like 22, I stayed sparring active on that end. And around the 1920, that's when somebody first showed me BJJ. So I got really heavy into Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. Yeah, 135-pound dude named Matt Shaw, this Kentucky dude from the military that I used to run with. That's my homie. But he used to put my foot in my pocket every day. And I was like, how's this little dude tossing me up like this? Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu is magic. So I got heavy into that. And mostly that's been my background for the most part. I did a couple boxing tournaments trying it out. Standard boxing, trying it out in college. But for the most part, MMA was my background. So yeah, I saw an opportunity through a few of my people on the yard. As you know, I work with Armageddon, Kong, and I think you guys even had, I don't know what Treasure's fight name is. I don't know what his fight name is. I looked him up as Joshua Treasure. But
oh, you talking about my boy Relentless? Yeah. That's my old teammate.
Yeah, you already know. Yeah. We went to academy together, so that's my bro. But a few people I seen was participating, and I was like, man, I had been telling myself since 36, I want to get 4 more fights before I hit 40, and then I'll see if I want to keep it going there. But before I hit the big 40, I want to get a few in, and I'm 37 now. So once I seen Street Beefs was available, I was like, I got to take this opportunity. I got to take it. But the last time I had a fight before the one versus Colossus, the last time I had a fight was like an actual fight. I was 21 and I was 170 pounds. So coming in at 280 doing dirty boxing, both the weight class and the style was very, very new to me. But as you guys can tell, I am not one to shy away from a challenge. I love it. So
Facts, man. I mean, Colossus is arguably the biggest challenge.
Mm.
You know, other than maybe the champion 619. I mean, Colossus is like the biggest challenge right now. I would say for anyone.
No, big time. And I ain't gonna lie, I do wish I was like, oh man, I wish I could have got to him a little later in the competition. You know what I mean? Like knock some of the rust off on somebody who wasn't undefeated and like a Ninja Turtles villain. That's a big, big dude. That's a big, big dude. Like I said, that Colossus is a monster, bro. But it was good because, like I said, either way, I love a challenge, and he's a real solid dude. Everybody that knows him or fought against him knows he's a real solid dude. So he's even offered after the fact to become a sparring partner and things like that. And we gonna work things out. So yeah, it was definitely an uphill battle, but I'm not one to shy away from it. And I would arguably say that on that second exchange we had before the breakup, wasn't doing that bad. Wasn't doing that bad. Got a few off in there, but ultimately that man is a absolute savage. And you get hit with a mallet a few times, and
Yeah, facts, facts.
Real quick, Bam Bam. I'm gonna say this real quick. I wouldn't downplay yourself because both of y'all in there, from someone that was holding the cage together while y'all was going at it, I could feel the power between the both of you. So just saying that he hits hard, y'all was both delivering some hard hits to each other. Cause I could feel the wind when y'all was throwing punches at each other, and I was holding the gate up there. I'm like, God, man, and I'm my little tiny behind trying to hold the gate from y'all two. I'm looking at the ref like, please keep them in the center, keep them in the center. But y'all was swinging. And the only thing I want to ask this question, because a lot of people don't seem to get this, but how would you say, for you being your first time in the West Coast, how would you say you liked, how was the experience for you? Like meeting everybody and just being there?
oh man, I think this is one of the dopest fight communities I've been a part of yet. There's no toxicity anywhere around. It's really cool because that's one of the things that you see a lot, very prevalent in most, fight situations. Somebody's mean mugging, somebody's trying to be tougher than somebody else. You know what I mean? Me and Colossus were about to fight, and you wouldn't have been able to tell it from our interactions right before we got in the ring. There was a lot of it's a lot of camaraderie over there. Everybody over there knows we're in that 5%, 1% to 5% of people that actually get in here and fight, and the other 95 is doing this. So it was a real good community. If somebody didn't bring a corner, somebody steps up and corners them. It was, like I said, this was a really cool, really cool fight group to be a part of, and that's why I'm going continuing forward. My initial plan was to just get 2 or 3 fights and get some footage of it so I could go ahead and start getting in the actual amateur circuit out here. But I might even stick around and try and earn me a Hall of Fame jacket. It's dope out here.
Hey, man, that would be that'd be dope, man. Because I mean, you got one fight in. Technically, all you need is 10 fights, win, lose, draw. So, I for one would like to see Bam Bam return and see what could happen. I mean,
Oh,
there's a
it's
lot
coming.
of good matchups.
It's coming. It's coming. And I appreciate you too, Darkness. I appreciate you, man. Like I definitely came with a lot of secret power and secret technique and things like that because up until this point there was no footage of me, which is another reason that I commend Colossus. Fighting somebody completely and totally unknown, know nothing to study them. That's a huge deal too. So you got to have that dog in you, to be able to agree to these things that we are. Um, I think we would have had a decently longer fight, but one thing I definitely found out, which I had experienced in MMA, but it's a little bit different because you get to grapple. When you're doing dirty boxing or anything with 4-ounce gloves, I am throwing out the idea of catching. I'm throwing out the idea of anything, but one thing I definitely learned: head movement and footwork is way more key, even more so than boxing. Boxing, you can kind of shell up and that 4-ounce glove will hit right here. Like, hello. Like it will peekaboo you everywhere. So yeah, it was real cool. And it was good to be able to let everybody see what I'm capable of, but that's gonna happen even more so come like I said, I think I talked to you about it, Somké. I'm coming back in March for sure.
Yeah, yeah, man. We love to see it, man. Love to see it. Are you sticking to dirty boxing, or are we going to see MMA, regular boxing,
So
kickboxing?
boxing and MMA is definitely on my radar for right now. I do want to return to DBX once I get a feel for like how things are gonna go, how we're gonna manage everything and stuff like that. I think I am gonna accept that challenge again just because I'm not gonna stay 0-1 and nothing for my whole life. That's crazy. But I'd rather be 0-2 and have tried it twice than to just be 0-1 and be like, oh, I lost it and I looked away from it. So I'm definitely coming back for dirty boxing. But come into March, whenever you guys make the announcement and have the signups, it's definitely going to be MMA and boxing chase downs. MMA and boxing chase downs for sure. I'm just in my get big mode right now.
Hell yeah.
That's good. That's real good.
Absolutely, absolutely.
I think you know what. After being there and seeing you and hearing your background with jiu-jitsu, I think really if this is boxing, I gotta say this. You gotta look at it this way. You took something that's beyond. You stepped in there and took a big milestone for your first fight. So I think
Yep.
not downplay any of the other opponents, but it's like you went against a beast for your first appearance into Street Beast. So going against the other guys, I think MMA we should try to check that out and see how that goes because you have that background and stuff. And the boxing was good, but I just want to see how you would be when you're mixing it all up together.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
All the
Appreciate you.
tools.
The biggest thing I am going to say this with difference from the dirty boxing and the boxing, and Somké can agree with this. With this street beefs, it's not about getting the crazy knockouts. It's cardio is key. If you choose to do MMA, work on that cardio. Make sure you have a really good cardio because guys go in there thinking they're going to finish these rounds real quick. But if that cardio is to the point you can last the rounds, hey, you may never know what happened. There it is. Cardio is
let's,
key.
let's go. Let's go. I like that shirt a lot. I gotta find
Appreciate
that on the shop somewhere. I gotta steal that one. That's dope.
We unfortunately, man, we got to find a new distributor because they no longer being sold at the moment. But
Mm.
we'll get there. We'll get there. You
Sounds
know.
like you said I gotta buy one off for somebody. That's cool. Now,
uh,
I
Take it
definitely
off.
agree. I definitely agree. Cardio is a huge, huge factor.
Yep.
I'm actually, especially when there's grappling involved and things like that, and you're able to like I mentioned, play a little bit more chess when it comes to the workarounds, things like that. I'm a lot more comfortable in that than I am in VBX. I'm even more comfortable in boxing in that regard because there's just a little bit more forgiveness with the 16-ounce gloves. Now there's a lot more forgiveness with the 16-ounce gloves than there is with the 4-ounce. So, but if you'll notice, whenever you watch the fight back, and that was one of the first things me and Colossus were talking about right after the fight. He's like, man, as soon as I came at you, you shot that double under so quick. I was like, damn, if this was MMA. I was like, yeah, but it wasn't. And as soon as you got that space, he took care of business. But yeah, I'm pretty quick with my grappling knowledge and my fight IQ when it comes to when it's time to take things, even not so much to the ground, but to a different level and just become a grinder when up top and kind of confuse things. So for a little while, I was doing jujitsu at Robert Lagaska Team Octopus over there off Hacienda, and yeah, those guys. Just being over there for the little while that I was with them is just monumental and a good sense of where I'm at still with grappling. So I can't wait. I'm very excited. Even if it ends up being box, I'm excited either way. Like it says, champion loading, baby, champion loading.
So with that, man, I mean, is there any matchups that you could see yourself, getting matched up with? Any guys you got your eye on?
Um, you know, That's hard for me to say because, as you guys can tell from me just jumping in there, first things first with Colossus, I am a big, I'm taking all challengers type person. I really don't do the whole picking and choosing and things like that. If somebody wants to hit me with a call out, I'm super duper happy about it. And I'm like, oh, I'm glad I caught your eye. Come get this work. But I really want to model my time with you guys and fighting and things like that after Izzy. I'm trying to get the record for most fights taken in a year. If it wasn't for the fact that when I was trying to throw that bolo uppercut at Colossus, I overextended my elbow a little bit. You'd have seen me at the end of February too.
Hmm.
Yeah,
Absolutely,
Colossus has
man.
put a lot of people on the show lately.
Yeah, you already know. You already
Yeah.
know. I was surprised that didn't have any. I had light sensitivity for like 2 days after the fight, just on this side, and I think it's from like one of the ones that woke me back up. Yeah, Somké didn't know it, but when I was standing up, so on that last exchange, the first one that hit me, everything was like I went this way, but my vision was still like this. My body was like, "No, hold on, bro. I'm kind of rebooting right now." Then the one
Reset.
that hit me in the back of the head, everything I'm talking about, everything was black, like this color. But I was still standing up. So on the replay, I told my wife, I was like, "Hey, I don't remember none of this." I was like, "I don't remember none of this." You can kind of see me standing straight up, waiting for that last one that hit me in the face before I got to the ground, and I didn't wake up until those. Bang, bang. That's the ones that brought me back. You can see my hands shoot back up, but yeah, there's no way. I'm like, that's kind of how you can tell I've been fighting for a long time because my autopilot functions had me doing a whole bunch of stuff that I had nothing to do with. It was just I just
Yeah.
switched to flip, like the plane was flying itself, and my brain was trying to figure out like how many of them is there and who is hitting us so hard. Like it was just my brain was trying to gather enough information to reboot me, but yeah, he did a good job of teaching me one, head movement, like I said. Two, footwork is going to be important. But three, I got to get back into my viciousness. I can be nice inside and then again outside, but I got to turn back on the monster. So when I get back in there, once we hit that red bottom right there, it's no more Mr. Nice Guy for a little while. So yeah, I definitely got a lot that I learned this last fight here. And yeah, I plan on taking it into the next match. Somebody's getting boomed if it's MMA. I'm
Yeah,
talking
yeah.
about boomed.
And shout out to Colossus, having the self-restraint and the ability to know when to stop and when it's over. I was a little bit late on that, and for that I do apologize.
You
I have
good, man.
to,
We talked about it.
yeah, but so the world knows, that
Absolutely.
I made the mistake, and I hesitated. You know what I mean? I'm caught in the moment of evaluating the rules and what's going on and where you're at and
No, to your defense, according to what the rules were, you were supposed to let that go exactly as long as you did. I'm gonna say this because a lot of people don't know this. The way our DBX tournament was explained to us, and I was expecting this, we had now there's one little point of confusion. Clinch allowed. Clinch is that was the blanket term, clinch allowed. So I wasn't expecting it to be broken up so much. That was different. But what I was expecting was if we failed, we were supposed to get
yeah,
so literally, you didn't do anything wrong in regards to stopping the fight. I believe. And I'm the one that the fight didn't get quote unquote stopped for. So I think my
yeah,
opinion trumps anybody with a keyboard right now. But but at the end of the day, literally, it was supposed to be when you get knocked down, you have to find your way up. So if somebody's on top of you, he only gave me if you watch it, I think he only gave me a total of 3 punches.
Yeah.
And then he stopped because he could tell from him being a fighter for as
right,
long as he is and him looking at me and seeing the difference between the way I was reacting then and the way I was reacting the entire fight. He could tell, oh no, he's not here. Go ahead and stop this. And he was very excited. So, he said it with intensity, but he could have, if he wanted to, stood flat-footed above me and
yeah,
or just hit me with one of those wild Francis Ngannou jawbreakers, though. It could have
man,
been bad, but just like you said, he's a solid dude. He has a lot of
yeah,
discipline and restraint when it comes to his fight skill. So yeah, I definitely took my hat off to him, and I told him many times, I'm like, hey, bro, I appreciate it. We're both the sole providers for our family, and nobody trying to go on light duty and, and miss no money.
facts,
So yeah,
facts.
it was a really really big thing for him to do that for me, and yeah, he goes in the friends category after that for that.
You know what? A lot of people don't tend to know this, but Colossus is a big. It's like I think I told him and he laughed, but Colossus is like a big old bear that will maul you, and at the end give you a pot of honey and some bandages, and he'll deal with it at the end.
Hey,
Just
that's
like,
kind of facts. That's kind of facts.
but I've seen from all his fights, and I'm still gonna say this. To me, I feel like Colossus has, I love 619. That's my boy. But Colossus has a chance. The advantage that he has over all you guys is a lot of boxers going into the dirty boxing fight, which that's cool. But you gotta remember, Colossus is an MMA fighter. He knows how much power to throw in those MMA gloves.
It's
That's
a
home
huge
for him.
deal.
The only
It's a
thing that
huge
they took
deal.
away was his kicking. But besides that, he knows when to ground and pound. He knows how hard he can throw without breaking his knuckles. And that's something like most people that don't train it, that doesn't know the MMA gloves, it's gonna be hard for them. Yeah, you're gonna be able to throw more power, but if you throw too much power, you could break something.
Nah, for sure.
That
My,
wrist.
Yeah,
my other
everybody got that
Yep.
bump.
It's
Yeah,
the same
man.
way for anybody that's going from Muay Thai to do dirty boxing. Like you may
Yep.
think, oh, well, this Muay Thai fighter's not gonna do anything. You got to remember the gloves that they use and stuff can be differently. And, they know how to throw without breaking something. Well,
Yep.
breaking something on themselves. They can break something on somebody else.
Yeah. That's a great point, man. Great
I
point.
definitely threw with that in mind. I definitely threw with that in mind. As a matter of fact, you can kind of see when I'm throwing that flurry, I didn't throw anything that was like super, like, just like you said, the things you would do in 16-ounce gloves turned completely and totally down. I was like, let me just go from 90 degrees straight back in wherever I try to take this
Yeah.
from, and I try to get as much short power as possible. I'm definitely stealing Colossus's. He hit me with the Roy Jones multi-left. He hit me with the
That
multi-left on one
the
side, so I'm
the little
definitely
rib
robbing him of that.
softener.
You know,
The little rib softener. You know?
I'm definitely robbing that, and he landed it in straight in my. I'm talking about the front of my face. I'm telling you, I was surprised I had no black eyes, no scars, no nothing. But for sure, for the next 2 days, I looked like Ray Charles in my house. I was shades everywhere, squinting, looking
uh
around, trying to
oh
dodge
man.
lights.
Yeah, but
But
that's a
that's a
great
really good
point.
point.
That's a great point that Darkness brings up, because that was some of my frustration in the other match that we had that day. We had two dirty boxing matches that day for the tournament. Yours and Colossus's, as well as my boy Husky,
Humble
not,
Beast and Hollow
not
Oni.
Husky, Humble Beast and Hollow Oni. And there was a lot of clinching with no action. You know what I mean? There was a lot of locking up with nothing really taking place, and you kind of have to come at this new style a new way, you know.
Mhm.
You can't expect to win it, just locking up and tiring someone out, and just like what Darkness was saying, it's like you can't expect to win, boxing the same way you would in boxing,
Mhm.
you know.
Nah, big time, big time. I will say, and maybe this is an idea for the future. If there was like how you have a 10 count or 8 count given on certain situations, maybe there could be, especially for inaction things like that purposes, there could be a 5 or 10 count given with the clinch in this dirty boxing situation. That way, there's a established amount of time between how long you can or can't clinch. Because there was a lot of opportunities. I don't know. You'll see it. Colossus he tried to take my head off with an elbow on this side, and we were playing chess, so we were watching each other. I tried to do a couple things to the body on the inside when we were in the clinch, but yeah, just like you said, there was, and that's what I was expecting. I'm not gonna lie to you, I was like, okay, cool. This man Hollow only got to hold Humble Beast for 6 minutes straight. he was really locking him up. I don't think he was
Yeah,
expecting him to be as busy as he was. Um, but yeah, that was definitely an example of too much clinching, and I think we would be an example of like a little bit too short clinching, in my opinion. Especially since y'all know I'm going against the mountain with fists. Y'all could have gave me a little bit more time to hold that, man.
I mean, so for me
I'm so-
personally, right? I'm a huge fan of clinching. I'm a fighter myself, so I work the clinch.
Mhm.
If I don't visibly see it, if I don't see, and sometimes I'm on the wrong side of the action, but if I don't see you working, if I, and I'll call it out. I'll say, let's work, hands,
Mhm.
let's work, you know, if I don't see it, or if I don't see initiative to get to a point of working, that's when I break it up, and then I can't remember,
Fair,
but I feel
fair.
like, did you guys fight after Husky? I keep saying
Yeah, yeah,
Husky. Humble
Yeah, we
Beast.
fought after.
we fought after
Okay,
Hollow and Humble.
so I'm somewhat biased based off of what I just experienced with them. Like, hold on,
Absolutely.
we not finna do that. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
yeah.
If we clinching, I need to see some action, and I need to see it. I guess I needed to see it quicker than what you had thought. But
And that's fair. That's fair. Like I said, I've been watching low key. Like I told you when I first got there, I was like, "Hey man, I'm a fan. I've been watching y'all for a minute. You specifically, like I watched some of your fights and I watched you ref a bunch. So I know you know what you're doing in there. I definitely know what you're doing in there. And as you can see, I'm definitely not the type to. I'm not going to argue. I'm not going to disrespect my ref, my official in any way, shape, or form. And especially if they already got fight experience too. So I'm like, that's twice as much of a reason for me to listen to you on those things. But I definitely did think exactly what you said as far as I was like, man, Hollow and Humble, mostly Hollow, messed it up for us with the ability to have a little bit more chest. Because if you noticed it, I did a lot of the boxing underhook for the outside arm.
mhm.
So I could actually work with the other hand, and I was trying to switch a few times, but we're both very, very strong. 278 and 279 is where we weighed in at. So there was no shortage of ridiculous amounts of strength in there to where it was like, oh, everything we were gonna do was gonna be like really, really tight and really, really locked in. But yeah, like I said, if anything, I 100% give you all the credit for people to hear it again. You did a great job. Even in the stoppage, it wasn't what people thought. There was a lot of things that from outside looking in, not knowing the rules, not knowing how DBX works and things like that. I get people's speculations, but to set the record straight, it was a fair fight. It was a good fight. Colossus took the W the right way, and our official was official. So let that all be known. And even
I
with me, like
appreciate
I
it.
said, wanting more clinch time, that just meant if the second that I realized we weren't going to get as much clinch time, I'm a fighter. You got to switch to whatever the situation is. A fight
Yeah.
is a fight is a fight is a fight. So yeah, like I
And to
said, I
be
got my
fair, bro,
lessons.
to be fair, I do make mistakes. That fight could have been called, a second earlier, and a second doesn't seem like a lot, but when someone's raining punches, it can be. And I do make mistakes even in just regular boxing, you know what I'm saying? But I strive to do better. And then I do strive to acknowledge, what has taken place and how do we move forward and how do we make sure that doesn't happen, and I've told Colossus personally, or at least on stream, I've told him, like, hey, point blank, I just need to ref your shit better. I need to be on point, like, I got to tighten in the ring and it shouldn't matter. My performance and my perception and everything that comes with it should not be phased, or, make an adjustment so that, this can go down without any issues, and once again, I appreciate you. And yeah, man, I mean, I can always do better, you know what I'm saying? And I strive to, you know. But
You're a solid dude, man. You're a real solid dude. Like I want that. I want all these things on the record to be known and heard. Like you did exactly what you're supposed to do. I mean, reffing the Colossus fight has got to be difficult. There's a way faster sleep factor than people realize. like there was
yeah,
no way you could have known that I was out on my feet. I didn't know until after the fight. Literally, for me in the ring, what happened until I watched the fight? What happened in the ring was I hit, and then all of a sudden I was on the ground getting woken up by two. It happens and if you're in
yeah,
knockout mode, it's instant. So it was
yeah,
like that little area, that space and time disappeared for me. So I didn't know about any of those auto functions where that's why I couldn't get my hands tied back around him again. I couldn't get anything to grab where his wrists or his arms were at. I was totally gone. There's no way you can know those things without, knowing them after the fact. Monday night quarterbacking is totally different. You know what I mean? So
mm,
yeah, at the end of the day, it was a really good situation. I'm glad that I took that first fight. I'm ready for my next one for sure. I'm definitely ready for that. And I think I just seen a comment like, "Aren't you worried about fighting with a concussion?" I am not concussed. I am not concussed. I got hit hard then, and it is over with. It's good.
So we have the next Dirty Boxing event February 28th. My thing is this: for someone that's been in there, Bam Bam, any advice or any
mm.
knowledge you would say to the next group of fighters, or if you want the next opponent for the next opponent for Colossus, to see like what can you give pointers, like being in there, letting them know, because I think, like you said, keyboard warriors just see, oh, they're just in there boxing. Like, no, there's some stuff going on.
And there was a lot of stuff going on. It somebody did a review of the fight and they slowed it down like to half the speed and we were still going decently fast. For us to be as big as we were at the speed that these immediate fight enders were coming, there's a lot to process in a very short amount of time. The second that I saw we weren't going to get as much time to clinch as I thought, I was like, well, this is going to be quick. One of us is going to get out of here. One of us is going to get up out of here. Nobody's hitting soft right now at all. As a matter of fact, the other thing I was thinking about, I was like, dang, Somké got a crazy job jumping between two almost 300-pound niggas swinging at full force with MMA gloves and stop us from doing whatever. Insane. Insane.
Y'all are two of me. One of y'all is two of me.
That's crazy work. So there's a lot to think about on every aspect of this. And I would say to the person that's about to fight Colossus next, you probably want to do this thing I just learned about where you can put like dry cement in your oatmeal and try to get it to distribute throughout your body. Like you're gonna need to either that or you gotta watch One Piece and learn how to do that tight stuff where they make their body all. You gotta do something. You're gonna need a superpower. But no, just be be conscious of what you got coming up. That's the same thing I could do. That was the only thing I could do. You gotta prepare, and your preparation is your preparation. I can't shift it for you. Whatever you do to prepare, whoever you pray to, do that a bunch. That one I don't say jokingly. Like I said, when I weighed in, I was 20 pounds away from being 300 pounds. The only bare knuckle fight, I think it's the only one. I gotta look up it again. But the only bare knuckle fight that ended in a death was the heavyweights. The over 250, you hit a different kind of hard. I don't think the brain is ever ready to get from somebody at 280. It's a lot of impact. So you're cognitive of defense. You're super duper preoccupied with trying to make sure you're out of the way when you're trying to get yours in. So there's a lot to think about. And the ring, I will say one thing. That ring looks a lot smaller when you're inside it. And there's disadvantages and advantages to that. Because, like I said, that first exchange, when he came out hot, as soon as we tapped gloves, a second later, I was like, oh, this man is a blur headed towards me. And when I was able to tie him up and I turned around, by the time I turned around, I already had him against the cage. I was like, okay, cool. I didn't have a lot of distance to go across. I didn't have enough to do when it comes to these things. So that's a major factor. That'll probably be the only advice that I can give somebody that they'll be able to use to their advantage. But keep in mind, he already knows that too. So ain't nobody safe. Ain't nobody safe. It's what you're able to do.
Right.
Good.
As they say in that movie Taken, good luck.
So I wanted to ask you, in preparation for this fight, knowing that you were matched up with Colossus, what was training like? What was that like? What was the preparation and training looking like?
So I did I tried my best to burn myself out as much as possible when it comes to like sparring rounds with people and working on my cardio and things like that. I'm never, and I hope this doesn't come off cocky, I'm not really worried about my strength training. I've always been like I said, I've only done fighting and calisthenics my whole life. Like I'm just now, this last month, I got two 35-pound kettlebells. This is my first time lifting any sorts of weights ever. So this is my first time trying to get into that. I'm getting ready to be ballooning up because this stuff is a whole different ball game than calisthenics. I still love my, my push-ups, my planche ups and things like that or whatnot, all these different things that you can do with your body weight. But that's absolutely going to be a game changer when it comes forward. But for now, what I was able to do then is I tried to spar as much as possible. And like I said, get myself to that maximum level of tired and extend it. But what's funny is I thought to myself, I was like, I'm not even going to need all this cardio. Big as we are, somebody going to sleep fast. And I was right. Somebody was going to sleep really quick. But I do wish that I was able to get in more sparring sessions with bigger people. Only had one with one of my homeboys out here, Samoan Cat. I think he's like 275, 280 as well. But we were only able to get one sparring session, and then I sparred with like Armageddon a few times. I was able to get some rounds in with a couple other friends and different gyms. But everybody's, as you know, heavies we're few and far between these days. From the way I haven't noticed. I'm talking about boxing gyms, MMA locations. Heavies is very very few these days. So I need to get to a gym where I have more heavies, or I need to be able to I work graves, so it's kind of hard. But trying to get out with my boys Colossus and Kong so we can get some more of that work in.
Yep.
Yeah.
I think those two are the heaviest hitters right now is Kong and Colossus.
Yeah. Kong got himself on the map, knocking out old boy.
And, well, I've seen a lot of damage that Kong did. He did that, and before that, I seen him throw a punch and somebody's ear explode before, and that was a thing too. So there's some heavy
Yeah.
hitters, and like you said, it in the boxing gloves. That's what he did in the boxing gloves. Imagine if he goes into dirty boxing, he goes to 4 ounces, like you said, that blocking, it goes through. That
It
hit,
goes through.
it has some effect.
Hell, I'm personally one of the main things I love as far as like MMA in general is the fact that you can put somebody in the block and they haven't even thought of that before. Like I can't wait. I'm gonna tear your forearms 2 pieces. I know exactly how hard being a martial artist for most of my life, like a traditional martial artist, you do a lot of micro breaks and your knuckle
Mhm.
strengthening and things like that. So I've got I've never broken my hand once. I've done a lot of knuckle growth, but I've luckily never had that break at the ring finger and pinky finger that a lot have had. I haven't had my wrist get fractured or anything like that. I sprained it once when I very, very first started trying to hit a heavy bag, just off the gate. But
Yeah.
outside of that, I've done a lot of conditioning when it comes to like my forearms, shins, elbows, and things like that from just, old school traditional stuff, which is, I think, still a good foundation and base. But, we won't have to get into that too much. But a lot of the problem with your traditional martial artists, they don't spar, they don't get in there the way that we're getting in there. And
Yeah.
just a side note, I think that's what that's what poor Kong's opponent didn't take into consideration because he's used to MMA. He was saying he was used to being able to kick and do takedowns and things like that. And he went in there timid, and Kong hit that man with a missile.
I mean, at that size,
The
you
whole world is
know,
fortunate that he doesn't want to do dirty boxing. If Kong wanted to do dirty boxing, that's another person with 4 ounce gloves hiding a rock inside of it that they would have to worry about. Everybody's very fortunate that some heavies only like boxing.
right. Oh no, he's got a baseball background. So if he jumped into dirty
Hold on, I lost the
boxing,
audio here.
you can't hear? Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
No, it might be my end though. I think your end is good. It might be my end. When Darkness left, he took my audio with him. If you can
Oh,
hear
okay.
me, that means it's good on your end. It's probably just mine. If anything, I'll go out and come back
Yeah,
in here
yeah.
in a second.
Just go out and come back.
Yep. Give me 2 seconds.
Little technical difficulties, guys, but we'll be right back. I ain't going nowhere till it's time to go.
No, sorry, it's that storm that did something to my phone just now over here in Cali.
It's good, brother. We got Bam Bam coming back too, so we
Okay,
good.
good, perfect,
Back like I never left.
man.
It's crazy too because I went outside today, man, and the mountains yesterday didn't look like this. I go outside today, the mountains got snow covered all over. I'm like, what?
Completely white.
Yeah, yeah. Like, where was this yesterday when I was training in the mountains?
Yeah, see, that'd be some perfect right there. The elevation in that snow, man.
Yeah,
That was a
man.
lot.
Love it. I love it. Even like to train, but even just to chill, just to lounge, just to kind of soak that in, good training grounds always give like good frequencies and good energy.
Big time. Big time.
Yeah, man.
That's another thing I gotta say. I was really towards Bam Bam. Meeting you for the first time, that was real nice and everything. You were real chill, real cool. Like you said, in the fight community, with the West Coast community, it's a lot of dudes that's just a lot of people think what they see on the videos that all these guys probably don't like each other and this part's real. Nah, we're like a big old brotherhood that jokes around and just meeting someone for the first time, they're like, hey, nice to meet you, or just things like that. It's weird because next second, man, I gotta go in the cage with this dude, and he was just so nice to me. And you gotta realize like you said, you gotta turn that switch back on.
Got to.
Shit, I've seen Somké go in there to spar a couple of times. I see, Somké is the nicest dude you'll meet there. But I see when he put on those gloves to spar and go with someone, a switch goes on, and I'm like, that ain't Somké no more. I don't know who that is in there moving around, hitting them hits like that.
His face changed like Brad Pitt from Snatch. He's
Yep.
Damn.
Yeah.
Hey, it's a different game. I like to think that there's life and then there's fighting. you know, and fighting is life. But at the same time, like the way I operate at work isn't how I'm going to operate in the gym or in the ring. You know what I mean? I save that moment for that moment, you know?
Yes, yes, sir.
And it's crazy. Everybody's different, right? I can recall a couple of my opponents coming up to me to try to, befriend me before the fight, and I'm like, I can't do this, bro. Like, does not compute. My computer cannot accept this right now. After the fight,
After,
we
after.
can exchange information and data, but right now is not the time. No. You got
I
to get
roger
away.
that. I roger that.
You know what I
Yeah.
mean? A simple handshake, heads up, good luck. That's cool, but don't come try to befriend me. You know what I mean? And then you see some guys, they're damn near best friends. They love the fact that man, we was chopping it up. We did this, did that, and then we went and beat each other up. You
That's
know?
me. That's me. I gotta turn my interior switch on again. That's like I said, that was one of the biggest lessons that I had to learn. I was like, oh yeah, I forgot. You have to get mean. It's okay to do this again. And this is
Mm,
part of the reason why I wanted to get back in here. It's been so long, but remembering that, it's like, all right, cool. It's handshakes until it's time to punch you in the side of the neck a bunch of
yeah.
times. So
And this is the perfect segue because I wanna bring it towards darkness, right? We
Mhm.
have the OG come back last month to the fights. And one thing that Darkness brings in every single fight, he brings a high level of intensity. And it's almost like you personally did something to this man,
Yeah.
right? And sometimes, it works in his benefit. Sometimes it doesn't look like it works in his benefit. This fight with Black Flash, a fighter who's, I would say, damn near the same description. Every fight, high intensity. That first round, he's throwing the kitchen sink, the refrigerator, the couch, the TV, everything getting thrown at you. Both of these guys fought each other and were so poised, so controlled and calm, but yet in there working, rolling, doing what they do. Uh, Darkness, man, it was great to have you back, but walk us through that fight, man.
You know what? I would say the biggest thing about that fight, it like when we got in there just staring across the way, like, Black Flash when I first like when we first met each other back in the day and stuff, like I said, it was a friendly thing. I think it wasn't until towards coming close, we're like, okay, Black Flash versus Darkness, and I was just like, oh wow. And we both looked at each other and he was like, his nerves was getting like, he even told me his nerves got to him. He was like, I thought you were gonna come there do flying kicks on something. Like, to be honest with you, I know you're tall and everything. I thought the same thing. Kick stuff. My game plan was, you know, we talked before that and he said, this is his return. He wants to show everybody that he got a little bit better. So I says, you know what? I'm gonna go in there and let's test your ground game.
Mm,
And I was not expecting that because the Black Flash we saw before, he was good on the stand up, but his ground game was like not so good. And I just wanted to test this and make sure it was going really good and everything. And man, the strength, like, Black Flash, the strength changed. Like, going from 135 to going up to weight classes, I was like, maybe I can do this. Maybe I can do it. I want to go up there and snatch your belt. But after feeling the strength difference and feeling how it went against Black Flash, like, I'm used to rolling around and, you saw a couple of reversals in the fight, but it was like when I reversed, boom, he reversed it back. When I tried to reverse again, boom, he reversed it back. I think this was my first time trying to throw a triangle or go for a triangle, and
mhm.
he picked me up to slam me, and I was like, oh crap! Like most of my opponents don't pick me up,
Right.
and it was just like when we got over to the back, a lot of things were going through my head, but it was just that strength, and I'm used to fighting someone that's frustrated in the fight. I can tell, and I know this may sound weird, but as fighters, we develop certain senses. And during the fight, what was getting to me was he was just as calm as I was. His breathing was not going crazy. Most of the guys that fight, their breathing goes up. They're intense. He was just as calm. Like he was like they say, flowing like water. And I was just like, man, he's going in to sink the choke, and I'm like, okay, he's gonna get frustrated that he can't get it. Nope, he was doing the same thing. He was calm. He was composed. He was like, okay, what am I messing up? Gotta lock this in. And I was just like, You know what? I wanted to try to fight the choke, and I was like, nah, this is a new Flash that came back, new Black Flash that came back, and in my heart, I felt like that was a well deserved win, and it showed something different for him. So his next opponent's like, you guys were used to Black Flash that was throwing the kicks and punches, but y'all now saw you have a Black Flash that has worked on his ground game. And when it comes to ground game, I'm out there with everybody, and you see, I can move around. I'm really flexible. So to say it in the weirdest way, it was not too bad to get tapped out by him because I didn't feel like, oh, he didn't lock it in or it wasn't bad. I felt like he was composed, he was calm, he wasn't frustrated, he locked it in just in time, and I was just, man, the power. I think you were standing right there, some kid when I got out, and the only thing that shocked me was like, God dang, he was strong, man. The
Mhm.
power was just something different. And it made me think to myself, like, you know what? Stay in your 135 weight class until you start eating some more.
Weight
But
classes for a reason.
yeah, but it was a good experience, and my hats off to him. Like I said, I can't wait to see his journey going towards the belt because a fighter like that now knows how to stay calm in situations. That's what makes a person dangerous.
Facts.
It's not the fighter that gets frustrated during the fight because everyone can see someone getting frustrated. You can see someone throwing punches out of anger and frustration. This
Mhm.
reminds me of another fighter that I see that stays calm in every single fight, and we all know him. He's undefeated. Is Broke Mark. He does not get frustrated or angry. He stays
Yeah.
calm through the whole entire fight, getting punched in the nose, dodging everything. And I'm like, and I tell people that dude is dangerous because he's calm. Not
Hmm.
because he's frustrated and mad. The calm fighter is dangerous because as he's sitting there calm, that means the motors in his skull is running. He's thinking of everything that you're doing wrong, everything that he's doing right, everything he could be doing wrong. And that, be honest with you, is a scary thing. I think the last fighter we saw that ever fought like that was Mook.
Mm, that's a good point.
You had him in big danger with that triangle until just like you said,
That was a
he had that
Yeah,
slam.
rampage slam.
yeah.
You
But
were
to
But
his
working
he
point,
fast. You were definitely working fast.
and
he didn't panic when you were trying to establish the triangle. You know what I mean? Most people are like, oh, they panic and they mess up. And yeah, man, it was good to see that from both of y'all, to be honest.
yeah, it was a nice comeback for him too. And I like I said, everyone asked me. I've seen the comments like that online. There's a weight difference, but no, you can't take that win from him. That was perfection, to be honest with
Mm,
you. And I'm one of the guys that I'll get frustrated, mad. Like, no, I shouldn't. No, I should have lost that one. He did exactly what he came in there to do. It was perfection. Like he stayed calm the whole fight. That was just weird to me. So whoever's listening, whoever's my future opponent or whatever, whoever comes to take the belt or however it goes, yes, calmness is going to be your key to having your motor running. Think. I fought in. I think every single guy I fought to this day has had anger or some type of frustration because they get frustrated that damn I can't knock out darkness or man I can't do this, and then that's what gets them that frustration. Like everyone says, oh, darkness has no power in his punches. Darkness doesn't have this. Darkness doesn't have that. You're right. I don't have any of that. But you guys let your frustration get to you, and at the end of the day, my hand is raised.
Checkmate. He said,
It's
"You
just
playing
like
chess, right?"
I try my best to stay calm during it and think what is going wrong,
mm,
and that comes from experience or however you want to call it. But I've learned that from watching other fighters and seeing what their key to everything is. Same way with look at most of the champs like Coyote. He stays calm during his fights. 619, he stays calm during his fights. Like Venom Black stays calm during his fights. A lot of these guys that you're not sitting there noticing that are staying calm during their fights, look at the outcome from it. They're not getting frustrated. They're not getting mad. They're not going throwing haymakers for no reason. I've had a couple opponents that, don't get me wrong, they've locked in some things that they could have won. To this day, I'm gonna give him his flowers before anything. Hashira Mikey, he whooped my ass. He was whooping me. I can say that, but the thing was, his frustration was getting to him. He didn't capitalize on a lot of things that he didn't see because he was frustrated. throwing every hit he could to try to knock me out, getting mad that it wasn't working, and his frustration got to him to that till that fifth round, and was going for anything. It just happens. Like, you gotta control it. You gotta stay calm in every single moment, and that cardio is key. That I'm gonna say that right there too. If your breathing's out the door, you ain't staying calm.
Yeah. Well, I mean, everything you're talking about is, the mental aspect of fighting, right? And if you don't have your mental, you won't have your cardio, because your mental affects your stamina. Your stamina and your cardio is one and the same. So it's like, if you can't master the mental game, you'll never get the fight, truly mastered. So that's definitely key, and definitely something that both you guys displayed in that fight last month. And definitely looking forward to you coming back and fighting again, man. Because I
Yeah.
thought you had retired for a second,
You know what? The community is hard to stay away from as much as I wanted to. This community isn't just a fight. Like I said, it just isn't a fight club. It's literally a brotherhood. Like, when things are going down for someone, there's always someone there to talk to. Everybody reaches out to help you out no matter what. We joke around, and I say this clearly because a lot of dudes I've been seeing lately, don't get me wrong, have been getting kicked out and all that stuff. But they have to see the jokes and the things that are said. It's just the same way you would argue and fight with your little brother, big brother, or however it goes. You got to be, that's what this club builds. It builds a toughness that you can joke around with each other, feel safe to joke around a certain way that you can't do out there in society, where someone might get mad and shoot you, or do something even stupider.
Yeah.
We can go.
Oh no.
He'll be coming back to go ahead.
He'll come back in. Every time he gets kicked, I lose the sound. Hey, look, Somké, I know you can hear me and I can't hear you. I got the little signal on my phone that I'm at 3%. So check this out. Before we have to get out of here, and like I said, I can't hear y'all, but you can hear me. It was a pleasure, absolutely pleasure, meeting both of y'all in person. Having you ref my fight, that's low-key bucket list level shit. Real nigga stuff. Darkness, that was insane. Getting to see you actually, like I said, go up a couple weight classes and try some stuff in person. Just like you said, I didn't think I was gonna get to see you fighting in person anymore. So that was dope too. If anything, I'm gonna be back very, very soon. Shout out to my previous opponent, Colossus. He already know. He already know what's good there. And God bless whoever I come back to. That being said, I'm out. Hey, y'all be blessed. Have a great day.
You
I'll see you
too.
soon, boys. Chain.
We appreciate you, brother.
That was
Great,
that, that
great
was good.
interview.
Oh,
Great interview.
I think your sound went off.
No,
Somké,
no, no, no. Y'all sound
can you
went
hear
out.
me?
Mm-hmm.
Or is it my sound?
Yep.
Can you hear me?
Yep. I can hear
hear
you.
you.
You got to come out and then come back in.
I'm gonna hold on. Let me see if I come out and go back in.
Yeah. Gotta love it. Gotta love it. Somké.
There we go. Can you hear me? I can hear you. Can't. I can't hear you again. I don't know
Okay.
what's
Can
wrong.
you hear
Oh,
me
there you go.
now?
Now I can hear you.
Okay.
Perfect.
We back. We back.
Back. That was an amazing guest. Bam Bam was really
Absolutely.
cool. So I can't wait to see him back again. I hope to see him in MMA or just something that feels more comfortable for him. And it was it's nice. It's always good meeting new guys to come to the yard,
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
it just builds it more and more. And I'm glad he got to explain his first experience and how it is there, and see why some of us it's hard for us to leave. I'm honest with you. Like,
Yeah.
the enjoyment of just being there from everybody, learning, being around the brotherhood, it's hard to just stay off to the side.
I
And
agree, man.
I at least want to try to get 2 title defenses before I do decide to just call it. I see new fighters coming up and everything, and I have an eye on an opponent that I saw last event. Yeah.
Mm. Who we
Yeah.
talking about? Who we?
He fought Dyer, Dior. It's funny because we're the same nationality and we're from the same country.
I know
The
who you
little
talking about. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Okay,
the
okay,
little Cuban
okay.
dude, you know.
Got you,
And
got
I
you.
saw a lot of good in that one. I'm like, okay, I see a couple dudes that's starting to come up that might just be a good run for the money. Another guy that I'm not gonna downplay. I know he called me out, but he's a good fighter. Johnny Boy. Johnny Boy's a good fighter too. That's another guy to look out for too. So at this point where I'm at, like I said, two title defense. If I don't get there and someone goes and snatch the title off for me or however it goes, like I said, to the future of Street Beast, I just want a champion that's going to be there and represent and everything. That's why I didn't want to leave. I didn't want to grab the belt and just leave. I want to give him, if I leave, let me leave with losing my belt or at least, two title defenses and then calling it. But Street Beefs is just been there for, I know it's still going to be hard for me to leave. Yeah.
Facts. But I mean, I like that mentality. I like, that game plan. It makes sense. Wanting to go out truly your way.
Yeah.
And yeah, man, I'm looking forward to that because homeboy, I forgot his name.
I
I didn't catch
know
his name.
it's Claudius or something like that. His name was, but
He's got some
he,
grappling.
yeah, that's why I liked it. I was like, okay, I'm
Yeah.
liking this. It'd be a good. He had some good stand up, and you know what? My wife said it, and a lot of people said it to me, and they said, "When are you gonna bring back the old darkness?"
Mm.
you know, Ever since 925, I've worked a lot on my ground game, taking everybody down and working on that. But everybody's been asking, when are you gonna bring back the high flying darkness that was throwing kicks and punches? And I'm thinking, maybe the next couple fights I'm gonna just mix it up. I got to do a lot of wrestling, that helped a lot. But let's bring back the high flying, the stand up and everything else, the knees and all that good stuff.
Yeah.
I miss hearing Somké yell at me. I got knees too. I got knees
Yeah.
too.
Man, I love that, man. Straight explosions.
Yep.
Uh yeah, I mean, there's a lot of good matchups on the table. The year is still fresh, so there's a lot that can be done. And I'm looking forward to it all, bro. I'm looking forward to it all, you know. What
To
oh,
Tommy,
go ahead. Go ahead.
from my opinion, I would say a good fighter, depending on what you're trying to look for. You're looking for a good MMA or boxing. If you have to go boxing, I'm gonna say for nice, clean work. It's a struggle for me to say, but I'm gonna say look at Broke Mark's fights. Coyote's really good. 619 is good, but look at Broke Mark. If you're looking for MMA, heck, there's a lot of good MMA fighters. It's just, hey, I don't know who really to say for me. I can't even say myself. There's a lot of good MMA fighters.
Hey, you just found us last week. That's what's up, man.
That's good.
There's tons of fights for you to watch. Sometimes you just got to go by the names. If you see
Hmm.
a name that stands out to you, you see somebody's thumbnail over and over and over again, a reoccurring fighter, that's a sign too. Everybody Darkness just mentioned is fire. But we've got a ton of fighters. Hey, well, thank you. We're glad we were able to help in that way.
Good.
Yeah, man.
Hopefully one day see you out at the yard if you decide to join.
Yeah. Believe it or not, Street Beefs has been around since '09.
Mhm.
So the West Coast branch, we've just been around for maybe 5 years, but the overall organization has been around. Just found never been a scribe, but now try boxing and gym. Definitely train,
Yes.
definitely train for sure. And I think everybody should get into a fight at least once, but come prepared. Come prepared, come ready. Cardio is key, but the mental is everything.
Another thing I would say to you that, I tell a lot of guys that, there's guys at my work and places that meet me and ask me, well, what's something you can give advice for? If you've never been in any type of fight, not only just your training, do a lot of sparring. Reason why is because if you've never been hit and you don't know how it feels to, walk through a punch or get kicked or anything like that, it's going to be a totally different experience coming in there. Because I know guys that post videos that hit bags all day long, and as soon as they get hit, you know, it's a different experience.
They get
I
surprised.
Yeah, I just we helped a fighter. I think his video just got posted, and Seeker, and he was training with me and Coyote and stuff, and that was the biggest thing I told him. Like, dude, you're gonna get hit. Don't think that you're that perfect of a person that you're not gonna get hit. You're gonna get hit, so you got to be able to know what a hit feels like and what it's gonna do to you. Even if you got to sit there with gloves on yourself and just tap your face a bit, but sparring really helps. If you ever plan to step in there, I tell everyone, try it one time. Win, lose, you can say that you wasn't sitting there behind the keyboard. You can say you've been in there before. That helps a lot.
Absolutely. You don't want to find out for the first time what it feels like to get punched in your first fight. You want to kind of already have that established, and to what you were saying towards the end, Darkness, I agree, man. It's like as humans, I think we all should have experienced what the experience of a fight is. You know what I mean? Like we we come from, a world of ancestry of hunting and tribalism and you know foraging and things like that. It's like fighting was a part of that. Fighting was a part of sometimes recreation, but also just strictly survival. You know what I mean? And years have passed. We've gone away from that, but we need to know what that experience is like to some degree. To some degree, we need to know what it's like mano a mano. What can this physical vessel that I'm in, what can it do?
Yep. What
And
can
what am I made of on the inside?
Yeah. I tell I tell a lot of people, and I'm gonna say this: if you anyone out there listening, whether you've been in street beefs or not, and because a lot of guys get discouraged, whether you come to this, you take a win, you take a loss, or however, even if you come in there and you take 2 losses in a row, to somebody out there, you're their hero, because they don't a lot of people sit here, a lot of people don't have the guts to step in there. I see those comments all the time on every video. Man, how do you guys go in there and do that? Aren't you afraid of this? And it's like, just know that person is thinking like, dude, that person is crazy. Like, and that's not crazy in a bad way, crazy in a good way. Like, you stepped in there, whether you got knocked out or however it goes. Like, a lot of people will sit back and say, I'm never gonna do that. But see, that's the problem. You're gonna spend there wondering your whole life, what if? What if? I would rather get in a fight in street beefs than get in a fight out in the street. The reason why is because after this, like Bam Bam said, Colossus can knock you out and go buy you a ham sandwich right after and be buddy with you and tell you let's train. That's something we've always done in the West Coast. Like, everyone, any street beefs, everybody always tries to be friendly afterwards, because getting knocked out on the street is completely different. Dude can walk over you, don't care. You got a guy that's gonna pick you up. Yeah, he's gonna be excited he won by a knockout, but still at the end, he's gonna talk to you, let you know what you did wrong, what you could work on better. And it's just the experience, just to tell your family, friends, like, hey, that's me. I think my biggest person I could say that does that, look at the Blasian. He got knocked out virally, but he accepts it, and he's coming off of it like, look, guys, this is me. And yes, it's everyone can say something about it, but he stepped in there.
Yeah.
He took the time. And a lot of people will not do that. Now, especially nowadays, a lot of people won't.
Facts.
Just
Facts.
scared they're gonna break something's gonna happen. But no, it's I would rather go in there than sit there and wonder what if.
Yeah.
This fighting has always been, for real martial artists or people that love to fight, it's been an escape from reality. You got to be a completely honest for yourself. When you step in that cage, you cannot tell me you don't think of yourself as you're in a video game. You cannot think of yourself like, that's why people develop fight names. People wouldn't walk into, even UFC fighters. Yes, they call their UFC names, but notice they all got a nickname. You know why that nickname is? Because that's your escape from reality. You see OG Darkness when you're in the cage. My family and my friends see Miguelito. And that's because that person there is different from the person I am at home. Bam Bam said the same thing. Colossus is the same way. He's the nicest dude I can talk to outside the cage. But when that door closed, we see a beast. Somké, you're nice. Completely nice. Anybody that meets you will be like, that dude's a fighter? Yeah. And he probably could hurt you. Nah, he's too nice. Go in that cage and close that door and see what happened. Put on them gloves. That's his escape from reality right there.
Yeah. All facts, man. And the beautiful thing is we have this community, we have this platform in which we can come together and we can showcase that, you know, and we can grow. So you know, shout out to Street Beefs and all the fighters, man, because you know we make this what it is, you know, collectively.
Shout out to MMA Underground too, and Yankee and the Brit. Like everything you know, you guys give guys a platform to be out there, go and express themselves, go out there. You know, there's some guys I admit you can look at they will never ever think they would have ever been on a podcast, whether they won, they lost, or however, but they're on there, and it's something that normal society wouldn't do, but it gives them that platform. It motivates them, letting them know like, hey, your your sacrifice wasn't in vain. It's
Right.
acknowledged.
Right. Absolutely.
I give a shout out to everybody, every platform. I give a shout out to you, Somké, for taking the time to pick up guests, for making me co-host, like just things like that. Like all that matters in the fight community to everyone. So anyone out there watching, if you plan on joining, you plan on doing anything, do it now. Do it before it's too late. Take the time to get a little training. Step in there. Try it once in your lifetime. Once. And if you don't like it, you don't have to come back. But I guarantee you, I tell everybody, it's a weird addiction. Whether you win or lose, you're for some reason gonna come back. Look at Black Flash. He left for a while. I didn't think he was gonna come back. And then to come back and dominate.
Yeah.
So
Very true, man. Very true. But I think that's the perfect segue, man, to go ahead and head on out, man, because you know we can't keep everyone here all night. It's been a
forever.
great show. You've been a great co-host, and I appreciate you, brother. If you can give out any plugins or any shout outs that you want to do, now would be the time.
Like I said, I want to give a shout out to StreetBeefs West Coast for creating a platform for fighters to go to escape from reality, to be someone different. I want to give a shout out to Heart in the Fight. I want to give a shout out to MMA Underground, Yankee and the Brit. Shout out to my opponents, family. I want to give a shout out to, just anybody out there who thinks this is something they want to try. Try it. Don't sit there and wonder for the rest of your life, what if? I don't care if you become the next death sentence. Just shout out to everyone. Love, peace, and let's keep this family and this community going. Add more people. Hey, if you feel like you can beat me, come to the cage, come to the yard, take the belt. I'm willing to die on my shield. Let's go.
Let's go. That's the OG, Darkness, the champ. Thank you, bro.
Thank you.
Well, guys, another fire episode. I want to thank all of you for joining us. I want to thank our guests tonight, Bam Bam. Great, great, great interview, bro. I appreciate you. Darkness, once again, thank you. Great interview, great show. Everyone watching us live, everyone on replay, everyone in the comments, we appreciate you. Shout out to the OG Yard. Shout out to the West Coast. Shout out to Dirty South. We do this for y'all. Shout out to the greatest producer ever, Jay, in the background, killing it. And yeah, man, I think that's pretty much it for me. You can catch us same time, same place next week, doing what we do. In Jay's famous words, one love, one world, deuces.